Dynasties are hard to come by in sports, especially curling, but Albert's Marjorie Olson, that term certainly applies. Born in Glen Ellen, Ontario in 1905, Olson moved to the Kanisno district at the age of 14, and a decade later she settled in Prince Albert. Marjorie began her competitive curling career in the early 1940s, and by the end of that decade she was one of the premier skips in the province. In fact, beginning in 1948, Olson was a member of 7 straight Northern Championship ranks, with at least 6 seeing her throwing skip stones. In 1951, everything came together for Olson as she became the first Prince Albert woman to win the T. Eaton Trophy as provincial women's curling champion. Joining Olson on the championship team were Peggy McQuarrie at third, Scotty Johnson at second, and Florence Jackson at lead. The same foursome repeated as Northern champions in 1952, but lost out in the provincial final. Olson had to alter her team's composition for each of the next 3 years, but the results were still the same. She continued her domination in the Northern Playdowns. Then, in 1955, with just Jackson remaining from the championship team of 4 years earlier, Olson made a return trip to the top of the provincial women's curling scene. Joining Olson and Jackson were Mary Reid at second and Isabel Hill at third. The Olson foursome went on then to higher levels this time, taking the Western Canadian Championships held in Winnipeg. Olson continued to curl at the club level for the next 9 years, but in 1964, the inaugural Saskatchewan Legion Auxiliary Championship was held in Melfort, and once again, Olson rose to the top of the provincial field. Joining Olson on this rink were Jackson at third, Audrey Dent at second, and Betty Bassett at lead. Olson curled competitively for the remainder of the decade and on into the early 1970s. And during this time, she skipped another rink to a Northern title, despite being 65 years of age. Olson added a couple more district titles in the senior women's playdowns early in the 1970s before her career finally slowed down. A dominant figure in the prize presentations at local bonspiels throughout her career, she was honored by the Prince Albert Ladies Curling Club with a life membership in 1973. The legacy of Marge Olson is truly a rich one, and the Prince Albert Sports Hall of Fame is proud to include her on its honor roll in the athletes category.
Doc, before you take your mother back, would Mary Hunt come up and just make a quick presentation that you want to make on behalf of the